See if I can space everyone out a little bit more.
Hey, all.
Hey,
What up?
what's up, Eva? How has your week been?
The last week of work before vacation for the rest of the year, so it was
Nice.
final.
Glad to hear it. I don't even feel like I'm on vacation. I've been doing so much stuff.
Yeah, my wife and two girls made a list of things that we had to do during vacation. When they did that for Thanksgiving break, there were a lot of chores in there, but I think this one's mostly fun stuff, so that's good at least.
That is good. Oh, I gotta check the splash screen again. That's not bad. I'm using a new system, a new PC, so I'm having to redo everything. And apparently, like the last 2 sessions that I've been recording, my voice was not recording at all.
Oh, the last two?
Yeah, so I thought I corrected it on the previous session, but apparently I did not. But I just checked it now, and I'm going to check it again. Previous session, but apparently I did not. But I just checked it now, and I'm going to check it again. Previous session. I just checked it now, and I'm going to check it again. Previous session. I just. Can you guys hear me right now? Interesting. Okay, well, sounds like my voice is working, so should be good to go. Sorry to anyone who was watching and heard all that crazy feedback. I'll be right back in a minute, guys, while we're waiting for everyone else to show up.
Hello. Hello. How is everyone today? Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Wonderful.
Terrible.
I think I have my third flat tire this year, so I'm kind of sick of that shit.
Oof. That's pretty rough.
Yikes.
I don't know what it is, man. But when it comes to flat tires, I'll get like a bunch a year, or I'll get nothing. I think one year I went through like 5 sets of tires. I was so mad.
Are they all like the similar, I guess, cause?
Sort of. I guess. Well, pretty nasty. A lot of them are nasty, at least. I think at least half of them are the tire just gets shredded. Some shit on the road. One of them, I was driving back from New York. Just like a 6-inch hole through the tire. I was like, what the fuck? And this one is just giant bolts in my tire now. I can't get a brake.
Jeez.
I was driving back from Denver one time, take the aft ramp. Like within a second, my tire was just shredded. I looked it up. It's like it was just all wheel or all it's called rim, all rim. It's like what the fuck?
So you're unlucky.
Yes, so.
Can you get these warranted? It feels like, or is it just like?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask.
Can, but I move a lot, so it's like I'll get the lifetime warranty on a tire set, and then I'll move somewhere, and they won't. That store isn't there anymore. So it's like, all right, well,
That's pretty sucky.
Oh yeah.
yeah. When I moved here, it was, got a lifetime warranty. Whatever. That was a really nice set of tires. Spent a lot of money because I didn't see that shit happening.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up?
So we're all here, huh? Awesome. Does anybody have any questions or anything before we start?
I'm good.
Silence is golden. Okay. So let me get some appropriate music. Everyone should be on the main Waterdeep map. That's, I believe, is what you're all looking at.
We are looking at the map. Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I hope everyone had a good week so far.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, the last group of you had left off, you had split up for the day to try to find different ways of making coin and traveling throughout different parts of Waterdeep to get an appraisal on some paintings that you had previously discovered from an old Terran warehouse. Having come across former old acquaintances and having discussions, some of them under the disguise of a spell or two, you guys learned a little bit of history about where these pieces of art had come from, and Headmaster Decus Krieg had told you that it would take him a day or two to possibly find somebody who might be interested in the purchase of those paintings. With that knowledge, you guys headed back towards Trollskull Manor for the evening. It's a little bit later in the afternoon at the time. You guys were followed by a strange group of children, and after some clever thinking, ducked into a short alley and managed to detain two of them for some questioning, where you had learned a stranger who was roaming around the city seemed to be wearing a similar piece of armor that Tizia wore. It's my job to put a good spin on things. So with that, we had left off where the four of you, Talum, Ellis, Tizio, and Eva, had just watched these two children run off.
Is that where we left off? I think we were heading back, right?
You were still on your way back to the tavern.
Oh, I'm good to just keep going back.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Okay. So, you guys continue making your way up towards the high road once again, making your way back over to Trollskull Manor. During that time, I believe Perry was in the process of etching a small plaque on a stool for the spectral presence that now resides within Trollskull Manor, a small place for him and him alone. And Calarian had taken some time to just assess his situation and see where things were going and in what direction. With the construction now slowing down for the evening as the Carpenters and Roofers Guild begin to pack up and head out for the day, Calarian, you do hear a knocking on the front door to the manor. You hear a voice coming from the outside that says, "Hello, is anyone there?"
I imagine I recognize that voice as Drennan.
You do not.
Oh. Similar voice. I guess I'll go answer it.
Okay. So as you make your way towards the front of the tavern, opening up the doors, you see standing before you a dwarven male with auburn hair and a rather tangled mess of a beard down the front of his chest. He is wearing what appears to be very well-tailored suit of armor of various different metals. And you see as he looks before you with his right hand still having wrapped on the door as you opened it, he looks up to you and he says, good day, good day. I'm looking for the residents here at Trollskull Manor. You mind if I come in?
I'm gonna ask who you are.
My name is Drum. I work for the Order of the Gauntlet. I wish to speak with you and anyone else who resides here for a moment, if I may.
What about?
Well, we've gotten word recently from other people in our guild
that a group of adventurers seemed to have saved Raynar from a bit of trouble just the past week or so. Our sources tell us that those people are now currently residing here at Trolsko Manor. Do you happen to know who they are?
Yeah, that would be me and my companions.
Ah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. You see as he kind of like gestures his hand towards the entrance of the door as you guys are standing in the doorway.
I'll let them in.
Okay. He nods gratefully and he steps inside. Just kind of takes a moment to look around. He says, I see you guys are starting to fix up the place a little bit, huh? That's real nice of you. Makes it real homely. But I don't want to keep you too long. I just thought that it'd be good to come by and speak to you and your group. Are you the only one here right now?
Just me and Perry's here, isn't he? Right?
He should be somewhere in there.
Okay. So I'll call for Perry.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you kind of come back downstairs into the tavern room, you see the same dwarven male just kind of bow slightly in your direction. He's just from first appearance, he seems to be outfitted for battle. His armor is not like spotless or by any means. It seems to have had some wear and tear on it, but he holds himself with a very air of importance about him. He says, good afternoon. My name is Drom. I work for the Order of the Gauntlet here in the city of Waterdeep. My associates and I, we wanted to reach out to the group of you because we heard that you guys had helped Raynar Neverember out of a sticky situation, and heard that you had taken care of some Zentarum and Xanathar thugs along the way. Is this true?
Is it quite true? Does that are you associated with them, or is it?
No. I work for the Order of the Gauntlet here, over in the Halls of Justice. And you can see as he's pointing towards his chest, you see that there's make a religion check. As you see a holy symbol on his chest. Okay. Oops, I can't spell. So you see what you would recognize as the symbol of Tyr, which is the god of war and lawgiving. It's a rather simple crest with what appears to be like an arrow in the center of it pointing up. And he says, we under Tyr's justice, working for the Order, seek out like-minded individuals such as yourselves to help root out any kind of evil within the city and put a stop to those things. And my associates and I have felt that the group of adventurers that now reside here might be a strong candidate to work with us in hopes of making Waterdeep a safer place. Would this be something that piques your interest?
Yes, we are looking for work.
Definitely mine.
Wonderful. Well, we do have a bit of an arrangement for anyone who does wish to join the Order of the Gauntlet. Come seek us out at the Halls of Justice. We're just to the west of the Central Market in the Castle Ward. Are you familiar with that area?
I'm not familiar, but I'm sure I can find my way. Is this work required? Are you required to join to do this work?
Yes, basically. Anyone who wishes to work under the name of the Order of the Gauntlet should swear an oath to the Order first, just making the promise that they would diligently and fulfill any obligation that they start. If you are seeking to root out any kind of injustices here in Waterdeep, we at the Order would greatly welcome you.
Yeah, I'm more of a crafter myself. So I don't know.
Well, the choice is definitely yours, but and you see he's kind of looking over at you, Kaleri, and he says, I see you're a follower of Bahamut, is that true?
Yes.
But then you definitely know that justice speaks loudly, especially here in Waterdeep. And we want to maintain peace and civility here within the city. We would never ask you to do anything that would cause harm to other Waterdavians, only to seek out injustice and stop it in its tracks, guide those who may be waning from the path of truth.
I'm quite interested.
Wonderful. Well, just come see us at the Hall of Justice on the morrow if you wish. And if you enjoy it, or at least the prospect of it, swear an oath to the Order. Show us that you are willing to stand up against evil, strike down those who seek to destroy the civility of our city. And we can definitely work together. I could definitely provide you tasks and things that could earn you a bit of coin, keep your pockets lined, and help us out at the same time.
Tasks that you're giving to me, would my companions need to also join to assist?
You see he kind of like shifts his weight a little bit, and he's still looking up at you. He says, no, if you require the aid of friends of yours and they don't feel it's right within their skill sets to join the Order of the Gauntlet, it's totally understandable if they wanted to help you, but any fees or coins that you might acquire along the way would probably only go to guild members themselves.
Understandable.
But with that, the hour is getting late, is it not? It's time for me to head back and make my evening reports. I bid you all farewell and a wonderful evening.
Goodbye.
Good night.
May Tyr watch over you. And you watch as he turns around and he just bows again slightly, starts heading out of Trollskull Manor. Probably about 30 or so minutes later, the four of you, Talum and Toe, probably end up making your way back up to Trollskull Manor, as the sun is now setting across the sky, its familiar reddish and orange hues streaking out. You see Kalarian and Perry just kind of talking amongst themselves.
Good news, guys. I think we'll have a buyer in the next couple of days for those paintings. And if anybody's interested, I don't know how much money it would net, but the Blackstaff wants us to go check out a bronze dragon.
Well, whatever for.
They want to know why it's in the harbor. Apparently, it's been causing trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Bothering sailors and such. She was kind of light on details, but
I mean,
I got the general impression that people just find it alarming.
that's where bronze dragons live.
You live in the harbor?
Bodies of water.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. She just wanted us to check on it. I don't think our goal is to harm it in any way. Just talk to it, I guess. Do
Just
we
a
know?
social call.
Are bronze dragons nice?
They're metallic dragons, so by nature they're goodly.
Okay.
If we're interested, she said she would help get us to the bottom of the harbor because, it'd be a bit trouble for us right now.
She did imply it was likely to play very poorly. If coins are concerned.
Any news on this front?
I had a member of the Order of the Gauntlet come by and ask if we wanted to join. They do have work for members.
I also was offered some work. Less dangerous.
And not requiring an oath.
Just gotta make an instrument.
I don't have all the details.
An instrument?
Something like that.
I have to go talk to the buyer or whoever, whatever, the person offering the job.
Would any adventuring need be done, or is it just a forging job?
I don't know. I heard it third hand.
Third hand, wow, reliable source.
I have a name and a place and some minor details.
Well, in 48 hours, we gotta head back to the college and finalize the sale. Hopefully he found someone. Other than that, we're kind of free.
When's the bronze dragon have to be dealt with?
There wasn't really sort of time frame placed on that one. It was really just, if you're interested, stop by. Again, not a lot of promise of gold, but, you never know what can turn up when you're talking to a dragon.
I guess.
Any idea how old the dragon is?
I believe she said young.
What time is it right now?
It's getting later in the afternoon, early evening, so maybe around 5 p.m. or so.
Well, if we want to go talk to my source really quick, shouldn't be much.
Where is it? It's in the North Ward, so it's in the North Ward.
Just gotta go to the North Ward, the Gentle Mermaid, so we're not far from here.
On the topic of the Order of the Gauntlet, does anybody know anything about them? Besides, they want us to join?
Are you asking who would know about it, or like what they entail?
Yeah, I was asking maybe Tizio knows about them, or Clarion or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Clarion, go ahead and make this will be a history check. Nice. Alright, so give me 1 second. So yeah, you would know that the Order of the Gauntlet is a faction of lawful good individuals who have banded together to instill peace and law-abiding within various parts of the Sword Coast. They branch out through various different major cities and even smaller towns where they have smaller offices, for lack of a better term, and in the face of any kind of turmoil or individuals trying to cause large amounts of havoc in areas, they will be on the front lines to attempt to subdue and stop those individuals and bring them to justice. They have some core beliefs, such as like faith is the greatest weapon against evil, faith in one's God, one's friends, oneself. battling evil is an extraordinary task that requires extraordinary strength and bravery. And punishing an evil act is just. So the idea of seeing a murderer, and punishing that evil as quickly as possible is something that both by God and by law should be at the forefront of one's minds. So they prioritize, identifying evil threats, such as like secretive power groups and inherently evil cultures or creatures. They watch over those type of entities, and they're ready to attack if they, take any missteps or attempt to misbehave. But that the Order of the Gauntlet would never like preemptively go out and harm those same types of groups or creatures as a preemptive method. They're not.
So they're
Go ahead.
reactionary, kind of.
Yeah, they will sit passive, but if you act up, they will react.
I see. Okay, cool.
But they definitely do try to stay in the know and try to figure out what's going on.
So, magic job. Or not magic job, music job.
Yeah, let's go to the Gentle Mermaid. I'm in the North Ward. Talk to an Irvin Durst.
Okay, who's all going?
Abe is happy to join.
Durst?
Yes, Ivan Durst. Ivan Durst, and then.
Interesting.
I'll go with 2.
So this guy he's paying you to just make an instrument.
Yeah, I think he just wants some. It's a special request, as far as I know.
Would my hammer help?
Well, that's all I know. Is it's a special request. Requires some adventure types.
Alright, well, that probably means I'm gonna have to hit something, so I'll come along.
Okay, Tizio, what are you doing? You going with the group, sticking around? Calarian, you going, staying?
Yeah, I'll head with the group.
I'm going with.
Sure. Okay, so you all gather up a few of your things, and Floon now steps back about this time as you guys are getting ready to head out. He goes, "Oh, hey, you guys leaving so soon? I was just about to prepare dinner."
Yes, I guess we have a minute to eat.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let me just give me a few minutes, and I'll cook something up for you guys. I don't want you to go out on an empty stomach. And you watch as he now starts to pick up his step a little bit and starts rushing to start preparing some dinner for you guys for an evening's meal. After about maybe an hour or so, just kind of sitting around waiting for him to try to cook for the 6 of you, a fine meal is presented to the group of you, with various meats and vegetables and strong ale for those who wish to partake. And is there anything you guys wish to do in that interim? Have conversations, or do we want to push on to heading out?
Yeah. Hey, so you guys said we wanted to sell those paintings, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I know it might seem weird, but I feel like this place would look kind of classy with one of those paintings, and are they too valuable to just have hanging around?
Point of order out of character for you, Ellis. Ellis just went with us to sell the paintings.
Yeah, I gave him a briefing on all this.
Oh, okay.
They were appraised at about 150 gold each, Ellis.
Yeah, okay, we can sell them.
Yeah, at the same time, we also don't want to show off stolen artwork. You never know who's going to be coming on in.
Right. Yep.
We're not
Makes perfect
sure that they
sense.
were stolen.
I mean, we stole them. We don't know where they came from before that.
We borrowed them.
Nope, that's not how it works at this point. We're
We
trying to
reclaimed them.
fence them. Reclaim? That maybe.
We found, well, you all found them, and we tried to bring them to a more suitable resting place in exchange for appropriate remuneration.
Finder's fee.
There you go. If that's how Calarian sleeps at night.
I mean, I'm justifying this out of character, not in character.
I know. Cool.
So, as you guys have this conversation over the course of your evening's meal, you all come to the decision and gather up your belongings and make your way out of Troskull Manor and heading along the high road back to the Gentle Mermaid, where you had all had previously seen. And Perry, you would actually remember this. This was the same fest hall that Vincent Trench was seemingly sitting across from the other evening. But nevertheless, you guys make your way out into the cooler evening air as the sun has now begun to fully set behind you. And who wants to lead the way?
Perry can lead the way.
Sure. Roll me a D100. 90. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay. No, so the evening air is warm and welcoming to the group of you. This far away from the ocean, you don't really get the scent of brine and salt air through your nose as you would like you were traveling through the seaboard, but the breeze still does carry on across the North Ward, and it just provides a relaxing comfort to those of you who are wearing a bit heavier leathers and armors. And Perry, you feel very comfortable as you just take a stroll with your friends down the high road, just passing by the various stalls that are now beginning to close for the evening, a few horse-drawn carriages that press on past you guys, heading in various directions, some with haste, some without. Maybe about 20 or so minutes, you guys continue onward, and you start seeing, not too far away, the familiar fest hall with the beautifully sculpted image of a mermaid sitting at the front of it. Across the way, in the same spaces before, the small cafe sitting across the street from the Gentle Mermaid, you see the familiar Vincent Trench sitting there once again, notebook out, just staring off across the street. And every so often he jots down notes. And he looks over and he sees the group of you, and he gives a slight nod, but doesn't engage in any bit of conversation at the moment.
So we'll just nod back.
Okay. You see him jot down a few more things in his notebook as you guys start making your way opposite him into the Gentle Mermaid.
Does he seem to be watching or writing about us?
Make an insight check. Well, this would be a perception. Make a perception check for me.
8, so nope.
It's a little hard to tell, unfortunately. He was writing something when you had first rounded the corner and saw him, and then you saw as he stopped and he glanced up in your direction, which was a little strange at first because you guys were coming down from the north side, so his back would have been to you guys, but he happened to turn around almost as if sensing your presence. It was very weird. But nevertheless, he just acknowledges your presence, and you do see that he watches as you guys cross the road and head over towards the Gentle Mermaid.
Our pricey detective friend seems to be everywhere.
I guess it's no surprise that he's out here. He was out here before. Not that long ago, even.
Like, that would have been like less than a day or two ago, right?
Correct. It was 2 days ago.
You know, I'm gonna just keep going in. I'm not too interested.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is not the right song. There we go. So, as you guys enter in through the large oak door that rests underneath the wooden statue of a mermaid resting gracefully on a rock, you are welcomed by the ruckus sound of music traveling across your ears as the familiar sights and sounds similar to the yawning portal greet you as you enter into this establishment. Definitely not as large by any aspect, but you do see that there appears to be various tables and chairs strewn throughout the building. You can see that there are two what appear to be like bars that run parallel each other on the left and right hand sides. And then the biggest attraction that greets the rest of you as you enter into this establishment is the stage. This flamboyantly red and white draped curtains dangle from all sides of the stage, and then various plumes of different filigree decorate the raised platform at the end of the building itself. You can see that there is currently a red tiefling bard that is just in the middle of strumming a very beautiful tune, what appears to be on some kind of lute. And you can see that strewn about the tavern is a large handful of individuals of all makes and sizes. And yeah, nobody seems to bat an eye as you enter. Everyone seems to be enjoying the thrall of the music before them. And welcome to the Gentle Mermaid.
So you said it's a red tiefling
Correct.
that's playing.
Male or female?
This appears to be a male.
Harry's gonna look for a table near him that's unoccupied. I guess since he's still playing.
Yeah, easy enough to do. There's several tables that are available that can fit the group of you.
Dave is going to look at Perry. He's pretty good. Is he the one we're looking for?
I think so. It's quite possible. It said to look for a red tiefling. He looks as red as they get.
Can't be, but too many of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought exactly. Let's go. Let's not try to interrupt him, but maybe make our presence known.
Okay. How do you make your presence known?
I might just kind of like make eye contact with him, and then like do a nod, and then sit next to the table, and then just kind of like wait for him to finish, I suppose.
Okay. Make a general charisma check for me.
Oh God, here we go.
Just to try to get his attention amidst the crowd.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You you try your best as you can with your smaller stature to just get his attention as best you can, and it seems that as he's playing, he's just you know, he seems to be almost absent-mindedly playing, not entirely paying attention to the audience themselves. But after a while, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes or so of him just playing through a various set of songs, it comes to a close. The audience begins to clap and cheer, and as he just gives a graceful bow in to the audience, and then he just starts to exit down the right side of the stage and heads over towards one of the bars. And you can see that there is a looking over in that direction. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. So, you can see that there's a few people that are currently what appear to be like working in this establishment right now. You do see that there is one female halfling that is currently just running around darting from table to table, and she's just in the process of like grabbing up empty drinks or cleaning up spilled messes. You can see that there's another human male, probably very early 20s. He is just in the process of what sounds like he's washing dishes or something not too far out of earshot. And you can see that there's a small opening to a side room where you can see another male half-orc who's standing next to that human male who's just like sliding food out from a small like porthole on different trays and plates. Then behind the bar, you see that this red tiefling, as you walked over to it, you see another red tiefling, male as well. A little bit shorter than the one who just got off stage, but you watch as there's a pause and a brief conversation, and then the slightly smaller red tiefling passes the drink over to him.
So, noticing that Perry was able to get their attention, Ava will get up and walk over to the two of them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, easy enough to do. You approach the bar and you can see, are you trying to hear in what they're talking about, or?
I'll just walk right up to them and say, "Excuse me."
He sets his drink down on the table and goes, "Hi, good day. Can I help you?"
Oh, well, first off, well done. That was very lovely. My friend here, and she's going to gesture back to Perry, who maybe has followed her, or is at the table, would like to talk to you.
I'm sorry. I don't know you. I'm Ivan Durst. Who are you? You just watch as he leans forward and stretches his hand out towards you.
Evandra, very nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure, Evandra. Pleasure indeed. So, who is this individual that needs to talk to me about something?
This is Perry, and I believe we heard that you need an instrument made?
You watch as now his face has a moment of recognition. He goes, "Oh, okay, all right. So you work for Emberk and Avy then?"
I wouldn't say work for it, but they told me about your I guess your job.
He leans back a little bit and he watches. He looks back over behind the bar, and the other red tiefling just kind of eyes wide a little bit, just kind of looks back at him in this shocked, like I don't know what the hell kind of expression. But nevertheless, he regains his composure rather quickly, and he looks back at the group of you. He goes, "Well, if you say you don't work for Emberk and Avery, why'd they tell you about my request then?"
It's a professional courtesy. They knew they couldn't handle the job, so they asked me to take a look into it, see if I would be able to help you out. I'm a master craftsman where I come from. Promise anything you need made, I can make for you.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Guess I was having an issue with my mic. Okay, so he looks over to you, Perry, and he goes, "Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been in a bit of a slump for a moment. Why don't we go find a table and sit down? Where are you sitting anywhere? You just walked in?"
Perry will point over to the table and kind of like usher him.
Okay. So yeah, he'll grab a drink and he looks back over at the other red tiefling and he says, "Hey, it's Squidly. Go grab us around, would you? Just have Jenkins bring it over, huh?" And you see as the other red tiefling just kind of looks back at him and says, "All right, no problem." And Ivan begins to follow the group of you and Eva back over to the table. He says, "Oh, there's a lot more people than I thought. You all work for Emberk and Avy then?"
Sure, we'll just say that.
Easy going, are you, little one? Well,
Yes.
and you watch as he just kind of sits down and immediately starts to just comfortably rest himself into place and begin to express himself a little more. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivan Durst. I'm the owner here at the Gentle Mermaid, so it's a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances. But business has been good. It's been fine. It's business. It's music. It's boring and dull at sometimes, but what can you do? When you play a good song and people like to hear it, you just kind of play it by ear at that point. But well, I've been feeling a little uninspired these past few weeks, and the normal sounds and songs that I play, I mean, yes, of course, they're fine. They're as best as you can get them. I mean, anyone from New Orleans can play a tune, if I'm not mistaken. But I've had the strangest dream. I don't know how best to describe it, and I talked to Embrick about it, and well, he seems a little stumped. Maybe a lot of you can figure it out for me. You see, there's this new type of sound that I've just been unable to find any instrument that matched what it was, and in my dream, it's just I wanted something that was a little more gritty, a little more rich. Whenever I plucked its strings, it just gave off this resonating vibe that just coursed through the soul. The
Was it a
strangest,
lute?
sort of, but the strangest thing, it was made of metal.
A loud metal lute.
What kind of metal?
I don't know. I don't know anything about such things. I only know that it was the strangest instrument I have ever dreamt of in my entire life. And I must have it. I've searched all over Waterdeep, and no one has ever even heard of such a thing. I must say, I am quite proud of myself. It sounds unique.
You thought you dreamt of this instrument, and you want us to create one or find one, or either.
Well, I've already tried searching. It just seems that I need someone to make it for me. I can give you a little bit better detail into what it looks like, and you see now that he starts to give out like gesturing with his hands about size and shape, and he starts to describe to you what the best, in my terms I can describe, is what looks to be a lute with 6 strings and a very long stemmed neck.
Talking about electric guitar, isn't he?
Exactly. He's essentially describing to you what we would know as an electric guitar, but he has never. No one has ever seen anything like this before, and it's crazy that he's even thinking about such things.
Ava's gonna lean in and say, "There's no way for the sound to resonate. How does it make noise? Is it magic?"
I don't know. It was just a dream. I'm not. It's not my job to figure that out. And I mean, after all, and you watch as he's looking at you guys, he just flashes the color of his eyes, like, darling, there's such thing as magic.
I have a question.
Yes.
Were the Dursts in the tower human?
Yes.
Okay.
Talon's stuck on that.
I mean, I don't know shit about music, so I'm gonna sit here and ponder
Definitely.
random potential things.
That's awesome.
Well, do you have any idea what you would pay for something like this?
Well, I guess it depends on the difficulty of the thing, doesn't it?
Well, I guess that's where I'm at an impasse here. Is I could go out of my way to find something out how to do this, but I don't want to go to the point where I'm not even putting in the work that I'm getting paid for.
I have a few ideas.
Well, I'll tell you what. Y'all seem like an amiable folk. And if you are working for Embrick and Avy, I wouldn't mind working out some kind of deal with you if you truly believe that you can build this thing that I've required. I've never seen anything like this before, so I imagine it's very difficult. And if Embrick and Avy are sending you, I do hope that you are skilled.
Well, I can make anything out of metal, and this one here is...
Points at Tizio half-heartedly. And
This one here is able to do some intricacies that most can't do with a fire and hammer.
Make a persuasion check.
I was. Oh.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, is there? Because I say Tizio's a pretty smart guy. Is it possible that I can kind of think of a kind of like a schematic or something like that that would work based on his description?
Make an intelligence check. Nice rolls. Well, an electric guitar is made of the body, the neck, and the frets, right? And then you gotta probably make the strings. And this would be Tizio just thinking these things aloud, right? So you're kind of comparing what a lute would be to something but metallic. So you know obviously the body where everything's going to be housed, and the neck and the frets. Making the strings out of metal, that's going to be a little tougher, especially because you're going to have to fold and twist the metal into such a way that it not only has, what's the word I'm looking for, mobility of sorts, like give, but also sturdy enough to not just snap when it's pinged. Then of course there's the head, the turning keys, and things like that. And then again, yeah, so you guys know that, or at least Tizio, you would know that generally with a lute, the housing of the wood box is what helps the resonating of the sound when it's strummed, and that's what allows it to push out the sound that's being played as a bit of an echo box. But you know, with talking this over with Perry, you guys are kind of thinking about it, be like, metal doesn't really work like that in a housing. So to the best of your knowledge, yeah, you would probably have to find somebody who can do some kind of magic on this device, if you're able to create it, that would allow the sound to amplify. How do magnets work? I don't know.
Tizio is
Like-
inventing electricity.
Like putting a thaumaturgy spell on the bass of the guitar.
Yeah, some sort of amplify feels way more straightforward.
Yeah, is this Ellis speaking, or was this?
Oh, that was
character?
was
Okay.
out of character. Ella speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Like a thaumaturgy cantrip would probably do it, because it amplifies 3 times the sound.
so we gotta figure out a way to make it permanent. That's really the
Make what from what, the thaumaturgy cantrip?
yeah. So enchanted, I suppose, is the right word.
Yeah. And maybe fine tune it, because 3x may or may not be a good number.
So I've personally never. I don't think I've ever enchanted anything in this game yet. So.
No, I don't think you have. So as you guys are sitting there discussing the intricacies of this, and you watch as the group of you are watching as Perry and Tizio start throwing ideas back and forth, and they're getting really into this and complex about it, and they're like, yeah, I think this can work, you know. Ivan's just sitting there, you know, one hand rested gently onto the side of his horn as he's just strumming away on his thumbs, or on his fingers, onto the table, just listening with a bit of a playful smile on his face, and he goes, I really think you guys might have something there. I'll tell you what. 300 gold. I will gladly give you 300 gold, and I will cover the cost of material if you can make this for me. How does that sound?
Well, before they have a chance to answer, you know, some experimentation will be necessary, so maybe the cost of material times 2 or 3, let's say?
Make a persuasion check.
23.
I see that. He rolls his eyes slightly and he looks at you and he says, well, I'll give you 2 shots at it. I'll cover the cost of the materials twice, just in case you screw it up the first time. I'll grant you, it is something new and unique.
She'll look to Perry.
I'm not worried about messing it up. I just want to make sure my time is worth the investment, and 300 gold sounds reasonable. And if you're going to cover the cost of the material, that's even better.
Splendid, splendid. Okay. So, I'll tell you what. You go talk to Embrick. Find out what kind of ideas you guys have rolling around your heads. Come up with a cost of material for me. And please, just send word or come here and I will gladly fork over the gold pieces for you.
Oh, sounds wonderful. I will look into it. Are you worried about timeline-wise?
You see as he kind of slumps a little bit more in his seat now. You see, like he's very pragmatic in his like emotional, like in his responses. Like everything always has some kind of like a gesture or a sigh, or there's this big presentation to how he's handling the conversation. And he goes, "I'm just getting so bored. The sooner the better."
Well, 300 gold is definitely motivating, so I'll do what I can for you.
I like the attitude. What was your name again, little one?
I'm Perry Ironhill. From
Ironhill. Really? Amazing. I've never known anyone to come from so far away. What's it like there? What's the music like?
Port de Mules. Honestly, this place feels like home. It's just another busy city. Maybe a little more, a fewer crazier inventions, but there's always different cultures.
Well, then it sounds promising that we'll be working together. It's a pleasure. And he reaches out to shake your hand once more.
He'll definitely shake it.
Wonderful. And with that, you see as he just hurriedly stands up, gives a graceful bow to the group of you, and he says, please, as I said, it is so dreadful to play the same instruments over and over. Please come see me as quickly as you can. I think I have to get back on stage.
Yes, we'll be on our way. It's getting late anyways.
So, with that, what do you guys wish to do?
Perry will start heading back.
You can head back.
Okay. So, the group of you finish off any drinks that the human male had brought to the table, and after a rather delightful conversation and the prospect of creating something new and unique, exciting Perry and Tizio, you guys make your way back up to the high road and heading over to Trollskull Manor.
As soon as we're out of the bar, and therefore out of potential earshot of them, Ava's going to lean over to the two of them and say, do you really think you can make that thing?
If anyone can, I'm sure we can.
I'm gonna look at my gauntlet and just be like, yeah.
It sounds very interesting. I wouldn't mind watching.
The trick will be finding the materials, I believe.
Oh, question.
Yes.
Could I, based off of the talk that I heard from Tizio and Perry, could I try to minor conjuration it?
I can help by drawing out my schematics for him.
Interesting.
So like blueprints you're trying to create.
No, he's trying to create the physical object without you having to forge it. I would say it would probably weigh, well, let me see here.
Oh, that's fair. Also, there's the whole like not actually having seen it before, so I don't know if it even works.
That is true.
That's why I wanted to mention the I think it was Perry mentioned the blueprints type thing.
Right. Well, I would say because, well, A, you haven't seen it before, but yes, if Tizio presented blueprints in the physical object, it would be an Arcana check, and it'd be basically a skill-based thing for you to try it. But overall, Perry and Tizio, go ahead and make one more intelligence check for me. This will determine. Yeah. So, the way dice work. So, not entirely knowing how best to form the material, the metal, to make it as light as possible, it's probably going to be slightly over 10 pounds. But for you, if you wanted to try to make a lighter object, I would say, how long are you going to spend trying to draw up schematics, Tizio?
I guess I'll be trying to draw up ideas. I guess the remainder of the night, before Tizio takes a rest.
Okay.
Just kind of drawing one idea. No, that won't work. Goes to the next one. No, what if I do it this way? And just trying to do all sorts of different formats for it.
Trying to see what kind of skill check I want to give to you for that. 'Cause that's interesting. Take a look at your sheet real quick. Yeah, this would just be a straight intelligence check again. Okay, so if you're gonna spend the remainder of the night trying to come up with schematics on this,
Perry would help.
yeah, well,
I'm just let him roll until.
with you helping, it wouldn't give him advantage on the roll, but it would. It's what's giving him the roll, essentially, to try to come up with this in a way, because you're also understanding how Talon wants to magically create this object, save time. Go ahead and just give me one more straight intelligence roll.
I don't know if it's on here or not. Do I still have the inspiration?
Yes. I don't believe you've used. I think Talon was the only one that used it.
Okay, so I'd like to. I guess, and I get advantage if I do it that way.
Guys. Also, can Ava be there and watch?
Watch the creation of the item, or?
Yes, she's extremely interested and wants to also try and talk them into giving her one. So she's just gonna follow them around like a puppy, basically. She is also then going to try to hype them up by giving them bardic inspiration.
There you go. So you get a D6 to your roll, Tizio. I believe you're a D6 right now, right?
Yeah, and I think that can apply, right?
Yeah, I would allow it. So yeah.
One ability check, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and roll an inspiration or roll a D20 for your intelligence modifier, and then add a D6 to it.
Now with the inspiration, does it go for I guess the highest one?
No. So roll a D20, add your intelligence modifier, roll D6, and if you wanted the advantage, you could have rolled it with the advantage because of your DM inspiration.
So, 21.
Yeah. Okay. So it'll take you the remainder of the evening, but yeah, I would say that with Perry's help and Eva kind of just cheering you guys on and also playing some upbeat music to kind of set the mood for you guys. You would probably be able to come up with some pretty decent schematics that would, after doing the calculations, it probably weigh about maybe 7 or 8 pounds or so of metal material. You can attempt to present that to Talum that evening or in the morning, up to you how you want to do it. I know it disappears after an hour, so if you guys want to play it that way, you can.
We're just trying to do like a prototype. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Show it to Talum so that way, if anything, he can get his slot again, spell
I feel
slot.
like Perry would be too overexcited to care about Tom sleeping, so he would probably wake him up or interrupt him, whatever he's doing.
All I picture is like him like barging in through Talum's door.
Wake up and cast this.
Here's the schematic. There's the metals, the wood that we're doing. We're can
Yeah, hand over the drawings.
Okay, so because he rolled a 21 on the schematics, the DC for you making this is lower, so roll me an Arcana check.
Hell yeah.
So I would say that you sit down and you spend some time to attempt to conjure this 2D representation of the schematic into a three-dimensional physical form that you guys can actually grasp and inspect, and you spend maybe a good 10-15 minutes or so just trying to concentrate on this image and focus on this schematic, but it it's too complex for you to be able to visualize it enough to create it currently.
Maybe once you have a physical one, I could replicate it, but I can't do it from the schematics. Sorry, Perry.
If I was gonna make it
And he's just frustrated and starts mumbling and walks out.
Just gonna walk out with Perry, like patting him. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Well, that sucked. And then Ava leaves.
I see. I'm very popular tonight.
Is there anything else you guys wish to do for the evening, or do we push on to the next day?
Yeah, I suppose Perry would try and get some sleep now. Sleep on it.
Same.
Okay. Pull up my calendar real quick because I forgot what day it was. Okay. It's the 22nd, I believe. Okay. So, you all find rest as best you can with the thoughts mulling over in your brains of a work just almost complete, but just not in your hands currently. Some of you feel a little frustrated that you were woken up in the late evening as you went to bed earlier. For the rest of you, sleep comes as best it can. Yes.
Before I go to sleep,
Mhm.
I'm kind of just a little curious on what might happen if I asked, because I've never really been this close before. I'm going to, and I've never been interested enough to experiment, but I'm going to try it. I want to ask Lily if she can go and find the electric guitar before I go to bed.
I see. Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion check. Oh, yep.
That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so you take a moment and you focus and you close your eyes and just mentally reaching out to Lily and asking her to reach out into Ivan's dream and just trying to visualize him and request that she grasp this image and bring it over to her possession. And there's a pause and then a response that says, Alice, my dear, you know we have much more important things to do than deal with silly dreams such as that. Keep your focus forward.
Fine. And I'll go to bed.
And with that, as you are going to sleep, Ellis, the familiar sensation of sleep washes over you, as it does night after night. And within your mind, as your body begins to rest and you feel your consciousness lifted from your body, you once again find yourself in the familiar point of view of a very stalwart individual, standing ever watchful along the border of a familiar looking landscape. This continues onward for a number of hours. At this point you're not even sure. Time almost feels irrelevant, and it almost feels like you were just staring at a beautiful picture in a serene environment for a very long time. The sights and sounds of the environment wash over you as you can hear the distant clatter of people in the background. And then you can hear the unfamiliar sound of a bell tolling in the distance, erratically, loudly, and then another, and then another. Almost as if an alarm has been set off in the distance. You watch as your form turns to look to the side as another familiar face, at least from your dream, looks at you, and the two of you grab onto your spears and grip it tightly. Your heartbeat starts to rise. Alice, I think you have to go now. Something's coming. And you awake in the morning, a little dazed and confused. And it's a little eerie. And as you attempt to gather your thoughts and look around, and your heart's still racing, you look down and your hands are not. They've changed. What once was the familiar 10 digits of your hands have now been replaced with these longer, sharper claws. You can feel the burning sensation of the tattoo on your chest. You go to roll over to stand up, and you can feel that there's a long spiked tail coming out from behind you currently.
What is happening to me? Oh, can I like close my eyes and shake them? Do they go away?
You take a moment and you try to steady your breath, and you try to calm yourself down as you do whenever you get too excited from a happy rage of a fight. And you feel yourself as your heartbeat starts to slow. And as it does, you can feel the muscles and the bones in your fingers and in your spine slowly start to retract, and then as you slowly open your eyes, you can see that they start to shape back to normal.
All right, Lilith.
You look back over at your bed roll that you have on the ground. It is currently ripped to shreds.
Oh, great. Lily, now I'm gonna have to buy a new bed. I'll probably walk down to get some breakfast.
Yeah, and you were the first to rise in the morning as the rest of you come to consciousness, seemingly uneventful.
We don't. Would I be able to? I don't know. Like, would I have heard him? Like, I don't know, tossing and turning at night or anything like that? Any yelling or anything that he would have had? Like, if it was like a nightmare or something.
Not with your passive perception, no.
Cool, no problem.
But you all awake to the familiar sound of hammer on nail, the shouting and clamoring of voices in the distance, not too far, as the group of individuals here currently in the process of restoring the roof to your home is readily at work as you wake. The smell of bacon and eggs waft up through the floor, reaching your nostrils, stirring you from your slumbers. The day is yours.
Perry will be furiously knocking on Tizio's door to wake him up if he's not already awake.
Tizio's gonna open up the door, kind of like have a kind of like a robe, a Hugh Hefner robe type thing, and
Even a robe or a smoking jacket.
I hope your inventory says smoking jacket.
and I think it's just his fine clothes. I don't know.
It's a smoking jacket now.
He's gonna hear kind of like ocean waves coming from my room.
Ocean waves. That's out of character, by the way. Anyways.
Tizio, why aren't you awake yet? You must get to work immediately.
Yeah, I had a tough night, man. That's all I can think about was that loop. Okay.
If you want to finish, you can. I'm just like giving you shit. Anyways, yeah, and he'll like head downstairs.
Okay. Let me pull you guys over here. Since you guys are in the alley. Okay, so you head downstairs, dragging Tizio behind in his fine lavender smoke jacket. You're greeted by a couple familiar faces, the friends of yours that are just starting to now slowly gather around the table for breakfast as Floon is just in the process of passing everything out, and there is one individual, a human male, who's like in the process of like holding these large 2x4s and just kind of like handing off one at a time to the guy who's up on the ladder. He just kind of just staring at you, Tizio, just like, all right.
Look back.
You could have gone and got dressed. Goodness. Bring
You pulled me. Besides, I'm already down here. I might as well. I live here.
The force of the god of the deity forces pulled you. I didn't pull you.
Just gonna squint at him.
I'll be waiting. Go get your schematics. Get dressed.
He's gonna go try and get food from Flume.
Yeah, you bet. It's readily available and just spread out amongst like about 2 tables for you guys because each table only really fits like 3 or 4 people apiece. So he kind of scoots them together like he did yesterday and just sets out various dishes of meats and breads and a nice cup of morning ale.
So Perry, every time he sees Flume, he's reminded of what he sensed from him. So is he able to like? So if Perry like focuses on him for a minute, can he tell if he's walking abnormally or has weird mannerisms that maybe aren't evident unless you're focusing on him?
Make an insight check.
Man,
I mean, you met him. He was battered and half conscious. He, when you guys took him back with Raynar to to the Yawning Portal, I mean, he was extremely upset. You haven't really had enough interaction to gauge his personality between then and now. I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing anything that would arouse suspicion.
I'm gonna go back to eating.
Abe's gonna lean over towards Perry and say, "You starting up again this morning? Do you have any new ideas?"
Yes, I'm starting immediately. As
Well,
far as new ideas, unfortunately, no.
Well, Perry, what are you starting? You see his Floon's now just setting a plate of eggs and bacon in front of you.
Well, it's a brand new type of instrument. One that relies on magic as much as sound.
Oh, really? I didn't know you were into playing music.
I'm not, but I am into making things, and even something out of my comfort zone is exciting and thrilling. I cannot wait to see what comes of it.
Well, I can't wait to see it done too. Maybe we'll take it out for a test spin for us, huh?
Yes, if you know a bard or someone who's even decent at playing music.
He just kind of
Eva's
looks
just-
over at Eva. Yeah.
He was just gonna look at him like, "Why do you think I was there last night?"
Oh, that's right.
It's not exactly fair to you since we changed everything.
Oh, so that's new. I forgot.
Right, Eva, yes. As soon as we get a chance.
And even before then, if we make the neck longer, we'll have to change the fret spacing, the number of strings affects how you want to put it. I can help with everything.
What about your bard friends? Maybe they have some ideas.
No, I don't think we need to get them involved. Thank you very much, Sir Jalum.
I just go back to reading.
Fallon, do you have any ideas on how to enchant the instrument to make it, I guess, make music? Because the hard part is, it's made of metal. It's not going to just strum itself or make the music itself.
Do I have any ideas on how to make it make noise?
Exactly.
I was asking the DM.
I know exactly who you're asking. It's what every DM wants to hear. Make an Arcana check.
Question.
Yes.
Can I, with my magical tinkering, kind of explain it to Talum and see if he can kind of make, because I know it only lasts for a certain amount of time. Maybe it's something that he can take advantage of and make it last longer, I guess, to kind of make it like the amplifier.
Hold on. So because hold on, I have to read it. So which magical tinkering effect are you trying to put on it?
There's one about a sound. Sorry, hang on
There's
here.
one object continuously emits your choice of an odor or a non-verbal sound. So if you wanted to make the most annoying sound in the world, you could do that.
Yeah, but a non-verbal sound, so I can make it
Right,
do like
a
a string
singular.
type thing.
Well, you can't have it change the sounds as it's playing. It's a tone that is continuous.
Gotcha.
That's the
Neat.
way I'm reading it. The object continuously emits your choice of a odor or a nonverbal sound, not sounds.
Well, no, that's what I like. I'm not using it for this. Of like, it's hey, this is what I can do. I can kind of do this. Can you take that and maybe improve upon it to
I
make
see.
it last for this?
I see. To try to give him some kind of insight onto what spells might actually be able to do that.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's something where not any Tizio feels like it's something that it's not any one of us can solve the problem. We all have to, obviously work together and put our ideas to
Of course.
kind of come up with this.
Okay. Yeah. Tizio, you see, or tell him you see Tizio. He's holding a small rock in his hand, and as you lean in a little closer, you can just hear that a small chirping sound coming off of it.
That makes noise. Use that. Is that all I got for my 15?
No. With him doing that, you're thinking back, and you're like, do you have the thaumaturgy cantrip?
I don't know. I think
I
it's
don't think you can, right?
clerics and something else. I have prestidigitation, but that's
Gotcha.
pretty much.
Okay.
I
Well,
have thunderclap.
you're aware of cantrips that can help do things that increase sound. It's not unfamiliar to you. Um, you would just have to find someone who would take the time to imbibe that cantrip into whatever object you guys are trying to craft. Totally possible. And what, two or three spell casters within the city that might be able to do that for you?
Yeah. Um. So there's a couple spells that could potentially work. Yeah. It's possible that the person who hired us might even be able to help a little.
It's possible.
Tieflings do have one of
They,
the spells that might help.
but not that you would know that.
Well, Yeah. I can't personally really amplify noise at this point, but we'll see what happens.
Is there any? Oh my God, she's gonna hate this. Is there any chance Ava would have seen magic used to amplify or change the tones of music at the school?
I would say yes. But you have also, in your time in the city, have seen it done elsewhere as well. It's not something that's common to New Olam.
Would she know what it is? Would she know enough to be able to say
Oh,
anything about it other than she's seen it before?
Yes, I would say you were studious enough to know that there were simple enchantments such as thaumaturgy that just took some time to amplify an object that was already making sound to make it louder. It took maybe about a day or so. It's pretty simple.
Can Perry change his cantrips, or do you stick with those when you're a cleric?
Clerics cannot change cantrips. Not unless Tasha said something else, which I haven't seen yet.
Well, we can always find someone to help us out.
Yeah, maybe.
Ava's gonna pull out her lute and say, And she's going to kind of point at it and say, "Well, the problem is just that there's nowhere for the sound to bounce around. So if there's a way that you could, I don't think a metal box would help, but if there's another way that you can put more space in it, or is there anything other than simply making it louder?"
We put a bag of holding inside of it.
Electric guitar based around a bag of
Coils
holding.
and magnets.
I think the sound would never come back though.
I want to think more along the lines of acoustic guitar than electric.
I think magic is the best bet. We just have to track someone down who can help us.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going for like just a no, what is it called? The box that it's in, the box that makes a sound, whatever it's called. We're going to ignore that part and just do strings and metal strings, whatever.
Definitely. Did he mention what kind of materials he wanted?
Well, it has strings. Got to be like steel and nickel is what I saw.
Yeah, so we'll say for the purposes of not getting into the nitty-gritty stuff, I mean, you guys would be able to determine, especially with your previous roles, like what exact metals you needed. We don't have to get into super specifics of like, oh, I need 9 ounces of bronze and all this nonsense. So
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was like a quest kind of. We need this very rare random thing. Or...
No, I'm not gonna make you guys like travel out to go find super. If it was super rare stuff, I would have brought it up. But
yeah, I mean, well,
essentially, like Embrick and Navy had offered to Perry, like, hey, we have a good assortment of metals. Just try to get a better grasp on what he wants and see if you can make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that lightens stuff.
Yeah, we can go buy some metal from Embrick and Avery then.
Yeah. So I would say I did forget to mention, because Tizio rolled a 21 on his schematic drawings, you would know that the cost of materials to make one of these devices, because he rolled so well, be about 100 gold worth of metals.
I feel like we can make a deal with Embrick and Avery. Maybe. But we'll get there and then we'll ask him.
I mean, he's paying for materials at cost, right?
Yeah.
He said just tell him what the cost of the materials are, and he will provide you 2 sets.
Yeah. Perfect, yeah. Perfect.
Yep, wonderful. So, with that, while you guys are deciding on the course of action you want to take, we will take a quick 5-minute break.
Sweet, need to make some coffee.
You bet. And then we'll be back here in about 5-6 minutes.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Wonderful. See you all then. Stay tuned.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello.
Up.
Yoink.
Just waiting for everybody to say they're back, and we'll continue on.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Bards are friendly, aren't they?
Especially when they want something.
Alright, so I think we're just waiting on Tizio. But while we're waiting, what's the plan?
Well, so I say we go to Everick and Avery's, get the medals, work on the creating the actual guitar piece, and then we can try and figure out how to enchant it or create it or create something to amplify the sound of it.
So on the way there, Ava is going to, and we can wait for Tiz to talk to her, but Ava's going to bring up the possibility of creating a second instrument. She's actually going to ask for a viol version, like a violin, like an electric violin.
Okay.
Looks like Tiz is back.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, so, Ava?
I'll probably. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna wanna head over to those people that people keep telling me to go talk to, the mage police.
Hey, the mage police. Let's talk to the Order of Magistrates and Protectors. Because that's a thing I have prepared. It is.
You keep telling me to do it, so
I
you
am.
better have it prepared.
I'm not telling you. Other spellcasters in the city are
No,
telling you what
I
to do.
know, I know, I know. I'm not angry. I'm just saying, like.
I know. Let's see, where are they at? They are... Because they are... Where are they? I have a whole thing for them. There's so many darn tabs in this thing, I swear. They are in the North Ward, I believe. No, they're not.
I believe they're in the southeast.
Because you guys went there.
That was our first quest with the fairy dragons.
It sure was. Guildhall's Tower of the Order. There it is. On the Street of Bells. Perfect. Okay, so we will get to that. What's everybody else doing?
Great. So as they leave, Ava's going to look at Perry and Tizio and say, so I've been thinking, if he starts playing this thing, it's going to create a lot of excitement for this kind of instrument.
It's true. I could see that.
I think if there were, say, one other of its kind in the city, we could take advantage of that, possibly to great financial gain.
Especially we have a tavern and everything. Just perfect for that.
But something just different enough to draw people. So I was thinking a viol.
A vial? What do you need a vial for? To put liquids in? What's that gonna do?
A viol, like a stringed instrument.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we can definitely look at doing that. Once we figure it out, we get this down, I'm sure we can do it again.
It should be smaller, just like a little fiddle.
I feel like Perry should know what a violin is.
Yeah,
It's a common musical instrument, he would.
Yeah.
it sure is.
So it would be less far-fetched than whatever I'm trying to do right now. Right.
Well, if we're making the electric version of a lute plus bigger, the electric version of a viol, I think, if you got that down, it should be more straightforward. And there's not even like frets to wear. Like everything's much easier.
Correct. The construction of a metal vial would be smaller, way less, of course. So the cost of materials might not be as much, but would still be a challenge nonetheless because of the time it would take to construct it.
What worries me now is the enchantments. I'm not quite sure how we're going to amplify the sound.
I might be able to find someone who can help with that.
That's the only hurdle I see in this whole project. I'm sure me and Tizio can forge this contraption, but... Yes.
Well, if we get it made and I test it out to make sure it would sound good, amplified, then we can take it to the college, and I might have a friend who can help.
Let's get it on with it.
All right. So, who's heading over to the Steam and Steel?
Harry.
Tizio.
Okay. So, as you guys finish your morning meal and you gather your things, the two of you start making your way off towards the Steam and Steel. Talum had mentioned he was going to go and speak with the Order of Magistrates and Protectors. What's everyone else doing?
I'll probably just stick around at the house. And again, just to keep an eye on construction.
Okay, not going over to the Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess we'll go there.
Oh, okay. And then Ellis and Eva.
Oh, Eva's following Perry, and she wants to see this thing.
Perfect. So, Ellis.
I guess I'll just follow Eva.
That's fair enough.
On the way, I'd probably say something like, now I don't want to like make any fun of efficiency or whatnot, but do you guys think like if we tried to kill two birds with one stone, we could try and get a dragon to help us make an instrument?
I love that.
Dragon.
Just thinking. I mean, it's a. You guys were saying it was like a brass dragon or a copper dragon or something. Like if he's made of metal and we're trying to make a metal instrument, I'm just trying to put two and two together, you know?
Metallic dragons are not actually made of
I
metal.
don't think that's how it works. I don't know anything about dragons.
It wasn't a bad idea, Ellis.
Well, I tried. I'll keep walking.
Yeah, don't listen to haters, man. That's a great idea.
Am I around when he says this, or are they?
Yeah,
they
you guys
got
were all
already?
sitting down having breakfast, talking about the things you were going to do for the day.
Just gonna shake my head in bewilderment.
We're gonna go meet this brown dragon in like 6 sessions. He's gonna have a cave filled with musical instruments.
He's gonna have like all the rarest musical instruments ever.
I mean, I can get into the history of bronze dragons right now, but I'm not gonna. Out of game context, they are big into arts, so
It's genius. It's perfect.
but
That's kind of mischievous.
true, and great conversationalists. So, as you guys step out into the warm morning air of this fine spring day, the four of you, Perry, Tizio, Eva, and Ellis, make your way over to the eastern side of Troll Skull Alley to find the familiar Steam and Steel with its billowing white smoke coming out of its dual chimney stack and the familiar sound of tinkering and hammer on metal. As you guys approach through the front of the establishment, you see the familiar Blue Genasi Avi just manning the not manning, but maintaining the front of the store. Um, and he greets you as you all welcome. He goes, "Oh yes, welcome, Perry. Do you bring good news?"
Yeah. Which one was this? Avery or Amy?
This is Avi.
Avery. Avy, how are you doing? Yes, I talked to your friend, your tiefling friend. He filled me in on the instrument. That's actually why I'm here.
Oh, that is wonderful news. Let me go grab Embrick real quick. Hold on. And you watch as he turns and scuffles off towards the back. And there's a few moments where you hear more hammer on metal, and then the loud sound of metal being squelched into a basin of some sort. And then a few more moments later, Embrick comes out and he goes, "Oh, Embrick. Greetings. Good morning. I hope all is well." Avi tells me you spoke with Ivan. What did he say?
He had this great idea, his dream even, I suppose. Seemed like a harebrained plan at the time, but I've sort of grown into it now.
I guess I'll kind of like slightly explain what I have in mind, not necessarily giving away, since he's going to be fairly protective of the idea.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so you spend a little bit of time just explaining the gist of what he's looking for, and Embrick looks back at you, nodding, and just in an appreciative manner, and he goes, "It definitely sounds like a task worth undertaking. But as we had agreed upon previously, if you think you can handle such a thing, you are more than welcome to use our forge to create such work. Do you know what kind of materials you'll need?"
Yes, I have a list right here.
And then whatever the list is.
Yes. Okay, so he takes a moment, he kind of just looks through the various different, steel and bronze bits, and then he goes, I think we have enough to manage this. It's about 10 or so pounds. Yeah, we should be able to do this. Now, have you discussed any type of payment with him?
Yes, he will be fronting the cost of the materials. So if you don't mind, and this is with all due respect, if you could send the bill to him, and then I don't know if you're willing to do that or not.
Yes, that would not be a problem. Looking here, it's probably going to be about 100 gold worth of these metals. Is that all you'll need?
He did say he'd cover it twice.
Just double it, please.
Okay, okay. Should not be a problem. Let's hope you get it right the first time, huh?
Well, if it wasn't for him, I would just be going with one. I do not have any thought of failure.
That's what I'd like to hear. Well, do you wish to get started now, or do you need to speak with Ivan first to receive any sort of payment up front?
No, we will. I guess
I'll look at Tizio.
we can start now, right? Are you ready? You think?
I was born ready.
Okay, so this is how this is going to work. This is a couple skill checks that is going to take you over the course of 4 days to complete. So for today, we'll be working on the day 1 of that skill check as you guys attempt to work together to heat the metal to the appropriate temperatures, and then to shape it, and then create the casts, and then actually fill the cast with the mold, let it set, all those other things. If this is what you guys wanted to do for the day, this will probably take up the majority of your day here.
Yeah, I suppose. Since everyone's kind of figuring out what they want to do today.
Okay.
And we're still waiting on what was the other thing that was going to take 2 days? The paintings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you guys want?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, Ava will stay. She will hang out in the forge and play the lute and encourage them and give them bardic inspiration.
Fantastic. Okay, and then so together with Tizio and Perry working on this, let me pull up the stats on here. Where's my artisan tools? Okay, so for this first DC, what's going to happen is, depending on the roll, will determine whether or not it takes a day or 2 days for you guys to make this. Go ahead and just make me. This will be a strength check for you, Perry, with advantage, because you have Tizio guiding you with the schematics of making the body, the neck, and all the smaller frets. Sorry. What's up?
Ignore me.
Oh,
I thought it was calling me.
no problem. Perfect. Okay, so
And you can take the extra d6 if you want to take the extra d6.
you sure can. Beautiful. 23 total. Okay, so with your guys' first day, just very excitedly wanting to get this started and just having these ideas thrown back and forth to each other, and especially with these very detailed schematics of how everything needs to be and the correct temperatures. Tizio diligently works on creating the cast for the mold itself, and then while you're constantly getting all the right quality of materials put together, and then you're sorting out through Embrick and Avi's pile of different metals that they have, just finding the higher quality ones of said types and throwing those into the furnace and getting that melted ready for the casting. You spend the entirety of the day, excuse me, and you were able to create the body, the neck, and the smaller frets that will go up on the neck. But yeah, that was a success, and let's see here, we will count that as level quality. Did I have that written as?
Looking at the rules, and that's what I was kind of
Yeah.
making a judgment.
Let's see here, it's so small. Let me see if I can pull it back up on my other screen, because my eyes are terrible. Yes, so this will be set as a masterwork because of that skill check you had completed. So it's a very good job. So the first 3 items of this 4-day venture has gone extremely well, and you guys at the end of the day feel excited and very proud of yourselves for having created something that you've been throwing together. It's been pretty awesome so far. So that will be you guys for the day. Talum, you are heading over to the Order of Magistrates and Protectors, and that is just off of Bell Street, to find the Tower of the Order. Probably take you about an hour or so to head down that way, unless you took a stagecoach or something to make your transportation a little bit faster. But you do see the familiar 4-story building fashioned out of stone and surrounded by that sparkling green fence that's coalescing the different symbols of Mistra and what's that other guy's name? Azuth. Go ahead.
Is it like safe to go in? Do I remember?
Yeah, it was. There was a large archway that you could walk up the stone stairs and through the double doors of the building. It wasn't barred or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just head in.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk in through the large double doors of this very quiet atrium floor, I would say. The familiar circular desk at the end there. You do see currently that there is a female half-elf that is just absentmindedly scribbling down on some pieces of parchment. She's just not really noticing your approach at the moment, but you step up to the counter and you kind of clear your throat, and she looks up and she goes, "Ah, yes, good morning. Welcome to the Tower of the Order. How may I help you?"
Is it possible that I can look at your records of like who's registered here?
member of the Order?
Well, I was looking to do that, and at the same time, it was kind of a twofold system
Make
kind
a
of thing.
persuasion check.
Ooh, rolling like great today.
Well, it seems that you are not part of the Order of Magistrates and Protectors, and that information is strictly confidential. Um, if you wish, you may... What's the word I'm looking for? You may... I cannot think of the word. Sign up and join with the Order, and in time, should you garner enough trust and reputation, I'm sure you could be given the proper clearance to look at our records.
Do you have like a terms and conditions sheet over what joining entails?
No, nothing that complex, but I can give you a brief summary on it. Just give me one moment. And you watch as she starts pushing away some of the papers, and you see that she starts going through a small, almost looks like a binder or something of or ledger, and she kind of pulls it out and flips through a couple pages. And then she braces her forearms up on the desk counter looking at you, and she goes, "The Tower of the Order, where we, the magistrates of the Order, our responsibilities include being called upon in times of service by the city of Waterdeep, should the Open Lord deem it necessary, in instances where unknown magical happenstance occurs, based on an individual's skill set as listed here in our ledgers. They may be assigned to go investigate said disturbance and file appropriate reports. In the event that the city itself is ever under attack, the mages here within the city will be called upon to defend it in times of great turmoil."
I'm not really from here, nor do I live here, so I don't even know if it's appropriate for me to join.
She's a little startled by the statement, and she goes, "Do you not own a residence here in Waterdeep?"
I don't.
Hmm. And how long will you be staying in town?
It's kind of unknown, but it's definitely not a permanent situation.
Well, that will have sway on whether or not you would have a higher level of access as you were requesting the archive of our ledgers. However, we still request that any arcane users within the city register themselves here so that we may call upon you if we ever need to question you about any peculiar happenstance.
And are there punishments for not answering the call of service if I'm signed up?
If you are discovered to have used arcane spells within the city without being a part of the appropriate guild, i.e. here with the magistrate, you can be fined. That would definitely be something that would have to go through the court and spoken to with the Open Lord to determine any sort of appropriated punishment based on the level severity of arcane use.
Okay, I guess I'll sign up.
And you see as she pulls out a copy of the Code Legal, and she slides it over to you,
Okay.
which you should have in your handouts. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yep. So it should be listed in there. If it's not, I will pull up the appropriated thing. But there's also, when Volo had taken you guys around under the Volo Guide to Waterdeep, that should also have information pertaining to that. But I can get you specifics if you're looking for specifics. But essentially, you get in essence, she's explaining to you that while an individual arcane user is not, they're not watched 24/7, what you do is your own within the city. However, if there was a crime and it was deemed by the investigating team that it was some sort of arcane use and you were registered to have lived in that area, you would be a suspect until proven innocent.
Unless I join the guild?
If you join the guild, they would understand your skill set and things that you were capable of doing, and it would be less likely that you would be accused of a crime without proper evidence.
Oh, okay. And if like they assign me to go do something and I just don't want to do it, do I get like arrested?
I mean, you can always find out.
Well, that's what I was trying to ask.
No. So what she would say is like, if the city were under some sort of attack and you were not to come to its aid, obviously we would have to deal with the instance of the attack first, but then you would probably be revoked of any rights within the Order of Magistrates and Protectors, and subsequently possibly charged. We take it very seriously here.
Is there a way to like register without the responsibility part? Just like tell you what I can do right now?
No.
I guess I'll do it.
Trust me, it is not only for our benefit, it is for yours as well. Think of it as safe passage through the city while you remain here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. I'll do it, I guess.
Okay, so, what name do you provide her?
I'll just give them my name, I guess.
Okay, I had to ask. Okay, so, you provide your name, and then she asks you, what school of arcane do you practice?
I'll be truthful again, conjuration.
Okay, and then she will ask you where you are currently staying.
I am currently living in a room of Troll Skull.
Okay, and then she would probably ask you... No, she won't. Okay, so she takes down that information, and then you watch as she jots down a brief description of your facial features and your appearance, and she just nods slightly to you, and she says, I greatly appreciate you enrolling here with the Order. Normally, like most people on the day-to-day don't ever get bothered by us. The city of Waterdeep has not been under duress for quite some time, so please rest assured, I do understand the hesitantness. But, as I said, it is for the safety of Waterdevians and yourself alike to be registered here. Just in the event that something foul were to occur, you don't want to be blamed for it.
Sure. And now that I'm a member, I still can't get access to, like, if somebody was registered here? Just, like, look them up?
I can always point you to one of our lead investigators, and you can speak to them about your request.
Okay. If you could point me in that direction, that would be helpful.
Okay. She doesn't take you to anyone. You watch as she asks you to just politely stand by for a few, and she walks off. Let's see here. Yeah, so she probably comes back maybe about 10 or so minutes later, and you do see someone extremely familiar, and there's a bit of a sigh of relief on your face as you see Barnabas Blastwind as he approaches with his small spectacles pointed onto his nose and the flowing purple robe draped in front of him. And he looks over to you and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I think I recognize you. you helped us out at the South Gate not too long ago, couple 10 day. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
It's,
With the hostilities on the road.
yeah, you guys did fine work over there. Aurelia, she tells me you just now signed up here in the city. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been busy. The Blackstaff Tower decided it wanted to have a conversation, and it was a whole thing.
His eyebrow raises slightly at the sound of that, and he goes, "That's interesting. Well, Aurelia says you had a question for me. I'm a little busy at the moment, but I do know you." And he looks over at Aurelia and goes, "I've met him before, Aurelia. We can help him out a little bit. What is it that you needed?"
I was wondering if the name Ixon Ezebus rang a bell, or if he was registered in your records at all.
He has to roll. Give me 1 second. Ixon Elibus. Not off the top of my head, no. When were they last here?
What'd you say?
Oh, he said not off the top of his head, no. When were they last here?
I have no idea if he was ever here, but I have reason to suspect he might have been. Just
Well,
wondering if he ever registered.
if he's an arcane user and he registered here within the city, I can task someone to dig through the archives. We've been keeping tabs on arcane users within the city for a couple 100 years, so if you can give me a bit of a time frame, maybe to start looking around.
I mean, relatively recently, as far as I know. Like, I knew him personally, so
I
not
understand.
like ancient or anything.
All right. Well, I mean, when was the last time you spoke to him? Maybe you asked him yourself?
Yeah, that's a little hard.
Well, I'll put somebody on the task. If I get
I
word of
can-
it, I'll send you a message.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Not a problem. Where are you off to next?
Probably back to Troll Skull for now. Lots of stuff to do, but most of it's in the city for now.
Alright. Well, you keep yourself out of trouble. Don't follow the Black Staff too blindly, though. She tends to stick her nose in places that she doesn't always need to be.
I see.
Well,
Thank you.
anyway, yeah. You have a good afternoon. And you make your way out. Calarian. You were heading there by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you... Let me pull you over to the map because you haven't been there before. So, roll me an investigation check. Nice! Okay. So, rather quickly, you are able to discern just by talking to a couple surrounding people up in the North Ward, and at the mention of the Order of the Gauntlet, a few other people goes, "Oh yeah, right, yeah, the Halls of Justice. It's out in the Castle Ward. You can't miss it." And they give you some directions over there, and so you make your way all the way down here. Go ahead and roll D100 for me, as I try to not choke on my own coffee. Ooh, 32. A giant meteor falls out of the sky. No, let's see here. Cool. Okay. So, as you alone are making your way on foot or by carriage, I should ask.
I'll take a stroll.
Okay. Yeah, you would as well tell him. I forgot to ask you. Apologize. Okay, I'll get to you in a minute. Sorry, coffee's killing me. As you make your way from the North Ward over into the Castle Ward, you manage to cut across a bit of the Sea Ward as the human female had pointed you to just take your way past the God Catchers. They pointed out to the large statue that you have seen out in the distance before. And you easily recognize it by the I can't other than to describe it by ginormous. There's a huge spherical object that is just protruding up from a lot of the surrounding neighborhood as you make your way through the Sea Ward. With it being right here, obviously, you can probably see it from like way back here, just because of how large the sphere is. And it's a pretty prominent landmark that's sticking out, and you can see that there's just a large stone hand that appears to be reaching out towards this spherical object, almost in semblance of some kind of sun or something. But I'll have to get you a visual for it. I don't know if I have it. Let me check. No, I don't. So I'll get you guys a visual of the God Catcher. But essentially, it is a giant statue of a humanoid figure, half buried as you walk past it, half buried into the earth itself. Maybe about waist up is just completely under the ground, or you're not sure if the statue is just that way by itself. And then the one arm is just kind of pushing off of the ground, while the other one is in an attempt to reach up into the sky at this orb, just held in place by you don't know what. And then you make your way through, and as you're walking past this, it's usually a large gathering point of people that are stopping to stare, tourists and things of the like. You see that there is a very prominent looking individual, male by the looks of it, very finely dressed in this rich navy blue suit. And he is surrounded right now by about 16 or so armed guards that are just keeping the surrounding citizens just breached away from them. And he's just currently just standing in the middle of this group of people, just kind of glancing up into the God Catcher itself. He doesn't make any eye contact with you or anything like that. He just seems to be taking in the aesthetics of the place. But you are able to just take a bit of a longer way around and proceed down over to the Halls of Justice. Excuse me. When you reach the hall, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't say that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
No.
When you reach this temple, for when you finally approach it, you can see that there are a number of different iconography and symbols related to Tyr here within this hall. Grand stone and wood structure, single story building that stretches out for quite a ways. You can see that there are a number of individuals in half plate armor and the like, and you do see that each of them are wearing what appear to be like silvered gauntlets on their hands. And as you enter into the building, you take a moment to kind of look around, and you do see that off in one of the corners there, the same dwarven male that had spoken to you before the day previously, Drom, and he just, as you approach and you just kind of survey the area, you garner a lot of looks, especially because looking around the group, you're not seeing any other Dragonborns currently. But Drum, he makes eye contact with you and he rushes over and he goes, "Oh, hey! I wasn't expecting you to come so soon."
I'm curious to check it out.
That's wonderful. Couldn't convince any of your friends to join.
No, they're out doing their own thing.
Well, justice ain't for everyone, huh?
No, I wouldn't put them off forever.
Well, maybe you can guide them down the right path, Torm giving. Well, let me show you around the place a little bit. And he takes a few minutes to just kind of show you around. And there are various different statues here of what you can best guess, and with his kind of like giving you information on various different people that may have been part of the Order of the Gauntlet from the past, or other heroic figures, or um, Torm himself in some form of representation of him and subservience from that. After a little while he's talking to you through this, he says, so, what? I don't want you to just think you're making a blind leap of faith here. I want you to feel comfortable and understand that being a part of the Order of the Gauntlet means being a part of a closely knit family. Our main priority is to serve justice where justice needs serving.
That is what I aim to do.
I'm so extremely glad to hear that. And Waterdeep has had a relative moment of peace, but we are stretched a little bit thin at the time. The City Watch, the City Guard, yes, it's their overarching job to protect the city. But then there's the Order of the Gauntlet. And our job is to be the eyes and the ears behind the city and keep an eye on things. Make sure that those in power only have the best intentions. Back when Daggolt was here, the level of corruption was just too great. And it's no surprise to any of us here that he was kicked out of office so swiftly. Especially after hearing him attempt to assassinate the last Blackstaff. It was just a nightmare. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. It's not a history lesson. You're here for work. Am I wrong?
No.
Wonderful. Man of few words and a lot of action. I like it. Do you think that the Order of the Gauntlet is something that suits you?
Not sure yet, because I have been part of something that was great on the surface, but awful within. I need to take a pause. My wife is spam calling me here.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Well, while that's going on... So sorry. Tell him you rolled an 18, correct?
I believe so. It better be a big thing of trash.
Okay. I mean, nothing chaotic happens other than a large enchanted shambling mound attacks you. No. As you're making your way, as you were making your way towards the office of the Tower of the Order, you did happen to notice that two Griffin riders swiftly just were sweeping up and down in the area that you were passing by. Let's see, the Street of Bells is... Ba-ba-ba-ba. Where are we? Give me 1 second.
You know, and you think your wife would blow up your phone, it'd be something important.
It's always important.
She wants me to approve a Hulu activation for her in like 2 hours when I'll be asleep.
That sounds important to me.
Better set a timer.
Oh.
So, as you were, oh my goodness, I really drank my coffee too fast. I keep coughing. I'm sorry. As you were making your way down towards the Street of Bells to the Tower of the Order, Talum, you did notice that there were 2 Griffin Riders that were circling around, maybe about 150 feet or so in the air above you, just surveying the area as you were walking past. One of them just kind of looks at you and waves.
I guess I wave.
Sure, you can if you want. Yeah, and he just kind of nods in your direction, but just continues on. You know, the streets aren't empty when you guys are walking down these things. It's really packed full of people as you guys are passing by the various shops and vendors, homes, and people just going about their day-to-day lives. Not an everyday occurrence to see the Griffin cavalry, especially so close to the ground. They usually keep much higher up into the air, so it's a bit of a curious sight, and you catch the awes and the gasps from children nearby that seem to be staring and pointing, and that's what drew your attention to looking up in the first place. But yeah, nothing crazy happened on your way to the tower. So you said you had some trouble with some organizations in the past.
Yes.
Whereabouts?
I used to be a member of the City Watch in Netkatla.
So you're not even from the Sword Coast.
No.
Well, that's amazing. What brought you all the way up here?
I'd rather not get into specifics, but I was exposed to some intense corruption and parted ways with that life.
Well, I'd say it's a good thing you did. You found yourself a nice piece of land up here. Well, I can't speak much for anywhere outside of the Sword Coast, but our number 1 priority here within the Gauntlet is to be vigilant against any types of evil and corruption. There's been times in the past, sure, that there's been some leadership that may have wavered, but it was always handled with scrutiny and haste. Because we always stand for identifying evil and finding secretive groups and just rooting out all this unnecessary greed in the world. If you join with us, you are here to enforce justice.
Well, that's what I've been striving for.
And that's what I like to hear. Well, being with the Order has its perks, too. If there's anything that you need from us, you're always free and welcome to come ask. If we have work or missions for you, we can always try to provide. But the number 1 thing we ask of you is just keep your ear to the ground. If you hear something out of place, don't hesitate to report it. And if you see something wrong, you stop it.
I will.
So what do you say? Would you like to join us?
Let me sleep on it a day.
Certainly. I definitely understand that. Well, if you come back, we can get you initiated. We can have you state the oath to the order, and we can find something for you to do.
Sounds good.
I truly look forward to working with you, Galarian.
Thank you.
You know your way back from here.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, if you need anything, just come find Drama, right?
Will do.
Alright. He just kind of waves you as you head out the door. Is there anything the two of you wish to accomplish since the other ones are pretty tied up for the day?
What time is it about?
Early afternoon at this point for probably the both of you.
I wouldn't mind trying to sell the protection from poison and illusionary script scrolls.
Okay. Where would you like to sell those things?
Probably the place where I bought the scrolls. That one Granky wizard who didn't like Tizio. Or no, was it Tizio? I don't know. It was someone. He didn't like someone, but the cranky wizard dude in the dock ward.
Sure. This is where I'd be a dick and ask you for the correct name for the place.
It's in my notes.
I know it is.
Finding it might be fun.
It's Serpentine's Books and Folios, I believe. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Let's see. Player handouts. Nope. That would be in the dock ward. Yep. Serpent Books and Folios. Okay. Go ahead and roll another D100 for me. So, as what am I going to add to the table? So as you're making your way now towards the dock ward, you know that traveling towards the dock ward during the day, because you have done so before, that usually the streets are less packed and crowded, as most of the residents that do live there are either at the docks or working in other parts of the districts. But that doesn't stop the two elderly men that you see just perched up on a corner, and as you start making your way down through the street, they begin to heckle you a bit, and aside from calling you things like twinkle toes and making fun of your general appearance, they begin to start speculating like what kind of job or something you have, or questioning whether or not you even really should be in the dock ward and things like that, and it's quite perturbing.
Yeah, I don't feel like getting charged with assault today, so I'll just keep walking.
And they continue on with their ranting and argue, and then at one point they begin to argue about whether or not you seem like you're a bit of a bookworm versus, you know, maybe he's just some kind of a bus boy somewhere and he's got lost and he's too afraid to admit it. Yeah, exactly. But nevertheless, you are able to make your way to Serpent Books and Folios. Which I don't know why. Okay, there it is. It is down here, and as you enter, the familiar blackened exterior that is boarded off is just uninviting at first, but you again are familiar with the exterior presence, and you can see that the door, while still closed, there's the sliding porthole for viewing that is slightly ajar.
give it a knock. I don't remember the exact procedure, so I'll just knock.
Yeah. So a few moments pass, and the where's this information? The older human male with a very sharp widow's peak and the large bulbous nose just shoves the remainder of the viewport open wider, and he kind of looks at you and goes, "Yes, what do you want?"
I want to sell a couple scrolls.
He like slams the viewing port closed for a moment. You hear like a click, and then the door slides open for you. He goes, "Come on in. I don't have all day."
I'll walk in.
And he starts walking back over to his desk, and you can see the familiar scent of dust and old books and tarnished leathers just immediately fills your nostrils, and it takes you a moment to not try to cough at the sharp inhale of dust in your throat, but nevertheless he makes his way back over to the table where he was sitting at previously, and he just holds his hand out.
Illusionary script and protection from poison.
Okay. Those were first levels?
They are first levels.
Okay. Go ahead and... No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he takes a moment and he starts... are you just handing him one or both? Both?
Both of them.
Okay, so he takes a few moments to look over them. And then he kind of looks up to you. He's like, "Where'd you get your hands on these?"
They were... That's a long story. But they were given to me by the Black Staff Tower.
He drops them on the table and like looks at his hands. "So she sent you to do me in, did she? Is this all a trap?" And he's getting really angry at you.
No. She wasn't even involved in this. This was like the actual tower.
Make a persuasion check. He gives you this really like stern look, and he goes, "The next time you come in here, you better say where you get them first. I'm not setting my hands on anything from her. I don't know what you mean by the tower giving it to you, but if they ain't from Vara, I'll take them."
They are not from Vara.
Lead with that next time, huh?
Okay, every time I bring a scroll, I'll say they're specifically not from the Blackstaff.
You better not be lying to me.
I'm not.
He begins. He picks up the scroll once more and he begins muttering an incantation under his breath. And after a moment, he stops, and then the letters on the page begin to glow slightly, and then fade. And then he nods his head in approval, and then he moves over to the next one. Go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god.
Okay. As he is beginning the same incantation under his breath, and he's muttering these words and motioning his hand over the page, you watch as the letters on the page, they start to glow this bright reddish purple tint color, as opposed to the just brighter white light color from the first set. And you watch as his eyes get wide for a moment, and then the entire page just ignites into flame. And he gets startled, and he falls back a little bit, and he looks at you and he goes, "I thought you said you weren't with the Blackstaff."
I'm not. I don't know what that is. Although I have heard rumors of spell scrolls acting weird. Maybe it's that.
Make another persuasion check. You're getting some good rolls. So he stops and he pauses again, and you see now he's looking around like extremely frantically, like there's a bit of paranoia in his face as he's just like eyeballing the room real quick and look, and like he was expecting someone else to like come up and pounce on him. He stops and he pauses for a moment. He says, "Right. I read the fucking goddamn Thay wizards. Always trying to undermine business. All right. Look, I'm sorry. You said you ain't with the Blackstaff. I've had some problems with her in the past. All right. She won't outright come and get me herself. So I just figured she'd send somebody like you to just come and do the work for her. I can give you 100 gold for the one that didn't blow up in my goddamn face."
What if we just traded for paper and ink? Could I get a better value? No gold involved, just some ink.
I don't have 100 gold of paper and ink. I run a bookshop.
I see. Oh, wait. Did I buy the ink here last time? I guess not.
Nope.
No, that was somewhere else. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the 100 gold.
He's just like the level of like you can see that there's like a very bad like twitching that's going on in his left eye right now, and he's just like one hand like after that paper like blew up in his face, one hand has been out of your view the whole time. Like you don't know whether he was reaching for something or he's just extremely hesitant. But then
Hand
you
on a
watch,
gun.
you don't. You watch as he snaps his fingers and a small satchel drifts its way over towards you and then just rests in front of you on his table. That should do it.
Thank you. I'd just like to point out that I've been purchasing and selling level 1 scrolls, so you really shouldn't be so afraid of me. I'm pretty sure you could kick my ass.
You know what? Vigilance is key. If you're gonna live anywhere as long as I have, you best learn it.
With that, I'd have to agree.
You never know when someone's gonna come out and get you. And he starts looking around the room again.
Well, thanks for doing business. I'm gonna head out.
Did you hear that?
I don't know. Did I hear it?
No, there was nothing. Go, get
No.
out of here. I have more important things to do.
Thanks.
And as you like walk out, the door, eased open. It's slammed shut this time. You can hear that there's loud shouting and swearing in the room right now. Then, like as you're walking away, a large, what sounds like a pile of books fell over, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay. Do I still have the scroll that like exploded, or did it like actually explode?
It actually exploded.
Cool. 50-50 chance shield blows up in my face when I copy it into my notes later. This will be fun. Okay. I'd spend 50 the gold on ink, and then if we can do that without RP, and then just give the rest to the party.
Alrighty. Yeah, easy enough to do. On your way back, you grab the materials that you need, and you can head back over to Troll School. Clarion, go ahead and roll me a D100. You're rolling in the averages today. Okay. Yeah. So, are you heading your way back over to Troll Skull, or where are you going actually?
Yeah, I'll head back there.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's a relatively peaceful walk back for you. Not too much catches your attention, other than there's one vendor in particular seems to be like a part of a fish market as you were cutting straight across from the Hall of Justice over through the market area. Um, there was a loud scuffle, and you could see that one vendor had like grabbed someone by the scuff, and this was a large half-orc male that just grabbed another human male who apparently was in a conflict with them, and just kind of like chucked him out into the dirt in the middle of the street. You can hear him say like, "You try to sell me rotten stuff again, and I'll have your head." And they just start arguing and shouting back and forth. The human guy starts throwing like rotted fish heads at the half orc, and there's this just like confusing scuffle. And you can see some of the other vendors are now just in the process like shouting, cheering. And you see that there's bets going on. But other than that, nothing that interacts with you directly. But within about an hour and a half or so, the two of you are able to make your way back over to Troll Skull Manor. Relatively quiet, other than the fact that aside from the casual people that are passing through the street and the sounds of construction work going on, you guys do not see the rest of the party currently. Talon would probably get there second.
What's up, Calarian?
Well,
Anything interesting happening to you today?
I'm debating on joining a guild.
Oh yeah, I think I did that today too.
I visited the Order of the Gauntlet, and they offered me membership.
It was the magistrate people. They kept yelling at me because I cast spells or something. I don't know. It was very annoying.
Sounds like it. What do they have against casting spells?
I don't know if they're against casting spells, but I guess they want to know who does it.
Brings me back home.
Hopefully they leave me alone. Well, I'm going to go learn some new spells, so have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
Okay. Is there anything you guys wish to do for the remainder of the afternoon into evening?
I assume Floon's around.
Yes, he's around for the majority of the day. He wasn't expecting anyone home around the afternoon time, so he didn't make any like meal for you guys. So I mean, you guys can manage food however you want, or eat rations, or grab something to eat from a local vendor. It's up to you.
No, I was just gonna see if anything happened while we were out.
Yeah. Yeah. He looks around and goes, "Oh, it's been pretty quiet here. I made lunch. Listened to people argue on the rooftop. One guy fell off. Fucking idiot.
Reliable for that?
Is he okay?
I don't know. I didn't go check on the idiot. It's not my job.
Fair enough.
I mean, he's looking around at the guys. He's like, I don't know. He's not here right now. I probably have to talk to one of the other guys that are still here, hammering away, asking him what happened to him. But yeah, other than that, pretty boring day. Oh, what the hell's that guy's name? Emmerich. Emmerich stopped by. Started staring at the building for about 20 minutes.
What?
Emmerich, the guy who owns the bar down the road. And he just kind of lazily points at the other tavern down the street from you guys.
I think Emmerich's the guy who has a forge. I might be getting confused.
No, that's Embrick. Oh.
Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? I'm saying the wrong name. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Is No, I'm saying the right name. It's Emmerich Froon. Yeah, I'm
Oh
right.
boy,
Yep,
that's
yep.
very similar. My bad.
Nope, I know. I'll pull up the exact spelling for you in a second. Ba, 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 ba. La, 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 la. Where is he? I'll pull it up for you. But yeah, anyway, so he tells you that Emmerich, the guy who runs Froon's Brews, which is number 7. Whoop. That's
What's that?
That's Tasha's stuff. I haven't sorted that out yet. I don't even know what it is myself. It's like a puzzle or something.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah, so over here is where Froon's Brews is.
Well, that's the guy Perry was talking to that one time.
Mm-hmm. And Floon had told you that Emmerich was just kind of lounging around outside for a good 20-30 minutes, just staring at the construction work, and then walked away in a huff.
Well, if he gives you any trouble, let us know. We'll take care of that.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Didn't cause any problems, and can't really tell him to not stand on the street.
All of those things are true, I guess.
Anyway, what'd you guys do today?
Is it the Order of the Gauntlet?
Bunch of righteous assholes, if you ask me, but whatever.
What are you doing about him?
I mean, truth and justice shall prevail, and if you don't follow me, we will smite thee. And he starts chuckling.
Sounds right up your alley, Clarion.
Sounds like you have an issue with him.
Oh, no issue. I'm a law-abiding Waterdavian. I just, don't particularly like their thought process is all. Nothing against anyone in particular. They do their job, I do mine. We don't bother each other. Anyway, I mean, if you're interested in working with them, I guess they can't be too bad, huh?
Not on the surface, at least.
Well, just keep your ear to the ground, I suppose. Wouldn't be the first time an organization had a bunch of shady members in it.
Well, I'm gonna go back to my books.
Sure, what you reading?
Spell books, very exciting.
Alright, it's wizard stuff. I don't know but nothing about that. Have fun.
It is quite fun.
And for most of the rest of the afternoon, it is extremely quiet and uneventful unless you guys wanted to do something, but later...
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Are the paintings on like rolled up pieces of paper, or are they on canvases?
So it's on a canvas, but the canvas is it's like cow leather that's been tanned white for the purpose of painting.
Okay.
So, like, not modern day canvas, but more like older way of making canvases.
Right.
But yeah, so they were I mean, you weren't around. They are currently rolled up. I think they're in Talam's possession.
Thought we left them.
No, we
They
kept
go
them.
away.
I
we did.
put them back in the house somewhere or something. I don't know. I don't think I could carry them around all the time and still be useful. Aren't they pretty big-ish?
They're quite large. They're like 4x6s. I mean, rolled up, they're still large sketches, but not light by any means.
Yeah, well, they're probably in the house somewhere. I don't know.
Wherever you decided to set them.
Yeah, I guess if I'm hanging out home, like at the place by myself, I might go and look at him again.
Oh yeah, sure. I thought you went with them to the Steam and Steel. I'm sorry. I thought you
Well,
were.
if we're, I don't know if we're how
Well,
long we're hanging out there. Like if I got bored, I probably would have went
that
back.
makes sense.
I
Yeah.
don't
So
know.
you spend like the majority of the early morning with the three of them, and you're just watching them like hammer away, and there's not really much words going on between Tizio and Perry. They're just hammering out metal and referencing like drawings on a piece of paper every now and then, and you're just like, yeah, I could do this in the house, and you just kind of wander back home. And
I'm
yeah,
gonna go get some lunch. This is boring. Yep. Yeah, I kind of just want to unroll them and take a look, see if I recognize any of the places. Um, kind of just ponder them. They're very interesting to me, and I
yeah, go
want to take a
ahead.
deeper look.
Perry, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Or no, this I'm sorry. This would be a history check for you because
That's a lot
you
worse.
don't need to perceive the picture. You're just looking at it. Nice check. Um, Tizio. Taking a look at these are pretty drawings. They are very colorful in their design, and they show these very beautiful looking landscapes. Um, what almost look to be from like a distance. And you're taking a look through them, and the only one that probably stands out to you the most would probably be. Ooh, this is a hard one. Yeah, would be Luskin. There's one familiar town that you can see, and you look at it and you can see that there is a large, pristine looking estate in the distance of this scape, and you're like, I was there with Dad as a kid. It looks really familiar, but there's no writing or anything on it. But
Hmm.
it brings back a more more memorable time in your past. Brings a smile to your face.
All right. I'm gonna try and like kind of commit these paintings to memory before we sell them off. So that's what I spend my afternoon doing.
Aww. Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. You spend the rest of the afternoon. You just kind of like take them up to your room and stretch them out and do the best you can to just kind of prop them up in places and spend the rest of the afternoon just relishing the moment. As the evening comes and the warm air gets slightly cooler, the three of you, Eva, Perry, and Tizio, exhausted. Uh, yeah, all your hands and wrists are just exhausted, all three of you, especially because playing music the whole time, and then just the fine crafting of metal, and you guys are just beat. But nevertheless, you guys make your way, clamber into the ground floor of Trollskull Manor. um, as you guys enter the familiar scene of everyone starting to slowly gather at the table here. Um, by now, the construction crew has already left for the day, and a evening's meal is currently being prepared by Floon for the party. And you can see that there's a maybe Calarian or Talon might be sitting downstairs if they wish it, waiting on dinner.
I'm gonna give Calarian 50 gold for the repairs.
Yep.
Cool.
It's 220 right now. I think the next thing is like 400 something.
I will have to pull that up and get all those stats for you.
I got here.
Awesome.
Yeah, water damage and plumbing, 425 gold.
But with that, I mean, is there anything you guys wish to talk about, or are you just guys gonna eat, sleep?
What's your guys' plan for tomorrow?
So probably have to take a break from smithing for a day.
You want to go check on that dragon?
Yeah.
I agree. Dragon sounds pretty cool.
Dragon, but I also have to give
Wait, tomorrow's
word to the Order of the
painting day,
Gauntlet.
isn't it?
I'm sorry, two people were talking at the same time. Clarion, what'd you say?
But I also need to give my answer to the Order of the Gauntlet. The Grom, his name.
DROM.
I think tomorrow is painting day. I don't know exactly how you count 48 hours, but well, tomorrow would be 24 hours. So yeah, we should be good for. We should be good for dragon tomorrow.
And we might as well wait until we finish the instruments before we go to the college, since I intend to ask around there to see if someone can help us augment them.
Well, we can always go back. We did give them a time we would show back up. We don't want to keep them waiting.
I don't mind keeping
Yeah.
them waiting a little.
I mean, it's a lot of gold, Ava. Should be prompt about it. Why don't you like them anyway?
Just so they're so interested in themselves.
How so?
I don't know. I never feel like music should be that way. I feel like music should be a thing that comes naturally, a thing that you share, but not a thing that you obsess over the way that they tend to.
I see. Well, I don't really. We need to go back for a couple of reasons, so we'll probably end up there a couple times. Hopefully, you
I'll
can
go
bear it.
back.
Tell him, roll a intelligence check.
Dang.
As you guys are having this discussion and you see Eva's wariness, the thought pops in your mind as Calarian's just chewing on a piece of meat, and you're like, oh yeah, there's another dragonborn nearby.
As in a caster who can help us? Is that what you're trying to say?
As in a wizard who used a floating disc to transport books that you heckled.
I don't know if I heckled him, but
Should have done that first.
oh yeah, I kind of did heckle him.
And you recall that he was living in your alley.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thought just crossed your mind as you were staring at Calarian.
You guys remember that dragonborn wizard who lives in our alley that I made fun of?
Smooth tell.
Oh yeah, the one that you heckled?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Good. That was a good heckling, man. Like I've seen some very good ones and some poor ones, but that was top notch.
You are a complete jackass.
I mean, was I wrong though? Who wants to juggle 100 pounds of books?
I don't know. Probably not a homeless wizard.
I don't think he's homeless. He lives in our alley.
Well, who would live on an alley except for a homeless person?
True.
You're such a jerk, Callum.
Thanks.
Making fun of the homeless.
Well, maybe he could help with your guys' dumb instrument.
Wait, do you mean guys like on a street, or is he like living behind our house?
I think he lives in one of the other buildings here, Alice.
Oh. Well, you see, I actually used to live on the alleys, so when you say it, you gotta be more specific.
My bad.
We should see
I
him.
forgive you. And keep eating.
Well, maybe he can help.
Worth a shot.
And with that, as you guys mull over the possibilities of a multitude of things for the evening, yeah, that is where we will leave it for now, as you guys are settling in for an evening's rest, and pick it back up on the morning following. Unless anyone has any questions or things they wish to do before the evening's out.
No?
Wonderful. You guys did great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, you all did great.
Good old session, boys.
Sorry, Ellis. I know yours was kind of dull today.
No, that's I am intrigued by most of my other games that I play bards, and so it's always been a dream of mine to get an electric guitar in fantasy settings, so I thought it was fun. What bard doesn't want an electric guitar with thaumaturgy? Yeah, so.
The campaign you're not a bard in.
Sorry. Yep. Yeah.
It's all good.
Now I'll need to pick the guitar instead of the viol just to rub it in.
Next session, we kill a dragon.
Hey, who knows?
But
Or
before we do, he gives us the blueprints to build the electric guitar.
Exactly.
Any last words? Yes, I can tell the instructions.
That's exactly how a dragon would behave, yes.
Fortunately, after defeating a dragon while trying to routinely sell some loot, Dallum is murdered by a shopkeeper.
That guy's getting a little twitchy. This is the first time you sold scrolls to him too.
That's great.
Yeah. Last time I bought a scroll from him.
You did. He was not happy.
Maybe next time I'll go disguised as the Black Staff.
Please do.
I'll probably die.
Please do, because all the sigils that you saw glowing on the door as you entered would not do anything, I promise.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Perfect. I will... I mean, we'll call the session there for the night. Thank you all so much for playing. You guys all did wonderful, I think.
See you next week.
Yeah, have a good night.
Alright, check us later.
Are we good? Are we planning for next week? Do we know?
I mean, I'm down for next week if anyone else is. Otherwise...
It's the 27th, right?
Yes,
I'm
it is.
available.
I should be good.
I am a sad individual who has no friends, so...
I mean,
It's a pandemic. We're supposed to be staying inside anyway.
Yeah, it's Sunday night during a pandemic, like, you know.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I have no plans on the 27th, so, I mean, I'm gonna be home for Christmas anyway. I'm totally down for playing if you guys want to play.
Yeah.
So.
Same here, and yeah, I don't know if it was ever decided on like the a Christmas one shot type thing, but I'd probably be up for that as well.
Yeah, so not everyone agreed to it, so we're not doing it.
Gotcha.
Works for me.
So we will just press on with the story and because there's a lot to do here as well. So hopefully, here within this next couple days, the story's going to start ramping up a bit.
Right.
But yeah, essentially, Perry, I'll just need to know: do you plan on continuing to do the crafting stuff every day, or?
Well, my thought was to break it up just so that we could continue doing stuff, but it's
Yeah, you can if you
there's
want.
an opportunity to downtime do it, then I'm game for that too.
Well, what do you mean downtime do it?
Like, I don't know.
Like just run 4 days of downtime really
Yeah.
quick.
Oh,
Pretty
well, I mean, you can. That's why I told you, like, in total. So, I mean, you went from 5 days down to 4 because you had such a good roll in the first set, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so you're looking, you still got to make the strings, which is going to take a whole day to do because having to forge the strings and then twist it correctly, that's a pain in the butt. And then
I have a
the
jeweler's proficiency. I need a jeweler's kit. Would that be something that would help with that, do you think?
it
Depending on what we need, I believe I'd have to double check. I believe I already have a feature or perk that will I can kind of create any artisan tools, I believe.
okay, perfect. Yes, you do have that ability. Um, yeah, I would. Your smithing tools should allow you to create the strings. Basically, you have to create the molds again for the string, and then you basically have to, because you have to twist the metal, right? So you'll have to clamp it down on one side and constantly spend the whole day twisting it, and you got to be careful you don't overstrain it. So there's going to be a dex check for that, and then the last day would be making the head and the tuning keys, and then that's probably going to be a like carving tools. You're going to need to probably use some kind of woodworking stuff to do that, and then that's the assembly of the actual piece, not counting the day or so it'll take to enchant it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, if you wanted to run straight through and say, hey, I'm you know doing these things for the whole time, and we can do that. If you want to break it up and say, well, all right, I did this stuff today, I'm gonna go fight a monster tomorrow, you can totally do that too, because there was
Yes.
no agreed upon timeline.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Just doing just breaking it up, depending on what we're doing for the day.
Perfect.
Yeah,
if we
'cause it's
hit
one
a
of those
break,
things like I don't want to hold up like the whole campaign or like prevent people from moving on and stuff like that as well.
Well, I mean, especially with the way the Perry's crafting skill goes, there are going to be times like this where it's going to be like, I got to spend 4 days making a breastplate. But just because of this is an object that's never been created before. It's taking you guys a whole day to do.
I got you.
So, like, if Perry were to just make something like, a straight breastplate, it'd probably take him a couple hours versus a whole day. Stuff like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get into the specifics when we cross that bridge.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I guess I will hit all of you up offline with questions, because I think, Tizio, at one point you had said you wanted to talk to Bonnie, but that didn't happen yet, so.
That would be a nice refresher because I do not remember that.
Oh, well, yeah, anyway. You were at the Yawning Portal. Dern said, keep your eyes up. You looked up, saw nothing.
Oh yes, that's right. Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Yep, that's what I'm here for.
We also forgot about something else.
I didn't forget about anything. I have a lot of notes.
Nope, not on this one apparently.
Really? What is it?
Tizio had a cat.
No, I know exactly what happened to that cat.
Oh man, I ate it, didn't I?
Nope. You were unconscious in Blackstaff Tower for 3 days. The cat is at Blackstaff Tower. I know that.
Go! Well played.
You just walked out with it, and I said, okay, it's gone.
Yeah, no, I remembered in like I think it was like a session later or something. I was like, wait a second, what happened to that?
Yep. Nope. Your small orange tabby is now a resident of Blackstaff Tower.
I have to go back, I guess.
You don't know if he's there or not.
I don't, but I have to go back, I guess, to check.
Yeah, you could if you wanted. Look, man, cause and effect, that's all I'm saying. That cat's gonna turn into a Rakshasa or something.
A tabaxi ally.
Exactly, just to come after you. Alright, well, you all have a great night.
Yeah, see you guys later.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
And thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate it. Tune in next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, for the continuation of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.